All right, we're here for Roundtable episode 10. We're on the 10th episode. Pretty good. We've missed a few weeks sometimes, but overall we've been pretty consistent. Kind of, sort of, not really, but still, I don't mind. I'm Adrian, also known as Sam, Kittyman, Kim6, DB Kim6 on Twitch. Uh, with me today is of course Mort, or as we also call him, Nick, and Sexy Beard Man. What was the name that Stacy gave you?
Oh fuck, I can't remember. I mean, we have it recorded, so we can find out.
We
But
can definitely find out. But again, Nick's with me. We're talking about lots of stuff, doing it live. Got a couple people in the channel to respond to what we're talking about. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was Chromagun because it just happened yesterday. And of course, like you said, I should do full disclosure, correct?
I think so.
Okay, so yesterday I got an email from a dev from Pixel Maniacs who made a cool little indie game called Chromagun. Now, it is they gave it to me in the hopes that I would stream and make videos of it. So I said sure, and I'm not gonna give. Uh, I'll do my best not to give a biased opinion of the game, since they were so kind to give it to me for that purpose of making videos and streaming it. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. It's a Portal clone, to say it bluntly. It's essentially a reimagining of the Portal concept. But you saw some videos, Nick. What did you think so far from a completely unbiased view? What did you think of from what you saw?
Yeah, I got a very Portal feel off of it too, in a good way. I mean, it felt thematically similar without feeling like it was a ripoff. The gameplay that I saw looks distinctly different enough that I don't think it's fair to say that it's not its own game, but it definitely evokes the same feelings I had playing through Portal 1 and 2. But I mean,
It definitely does.
it
Yeah.
looks good. I like the looks of it enough to actually have bought a copy so that I can review it, and if I hate it, I can say so because nobody bought me off.
I'm bought by corporate America now because the
But
dumb.
really, like it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, I'm just kind of breaking in a new gaming laptop here, so I'm trying to find some new things to play, and that really struck a chord with me. So I'm excited to take a look at it.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to say the least. Just the fact that the where Portal was definitely physics based puzzles, and you kind of had to play around with portals. Chroma Gun uh, takes use of colors, and so you're given a gun with the three primary colors, and you shoot the wall, and then you shoot these little helper robot things, and it attracts colors attract. So you have to figure out how to move things based on the colors, and so. But if you use all three colors, it turns into poop brown.
Which is about right.
Yeah, which makes sense. You mix all the colors together, you get shit brown, and then it no longer can move. Like shit brown doesn't attract the shit brown. Like you're done. So there is no like in Portal. If you fuck up using a companion cube, another one spawns. Right? Typically, that's usually how that
Right.
works. In this one, you have to restart the level
Wow.
because you.
Rough.
It's rough. Yeah, some of the levels are a bit long when you're trying to figure them out. And I know I've accidentally misclicked and turned up one shit brown, and I was like, oh fuck. But it was challenging. Like they have a speed run contest right now for like a total prize pool of 2,000 euros. I'm not sure why it's in euros. That part I don't quite get, but I'm not gonna complain if I were to ever win. But it's a speed run contest. So when I first opened up the game, I was trying to see what the options were, and I was like, oh, well, they actually. I thought it was just like, hey, record yourself playing the game, and your upload would be proof. But they actually have a speed run like section built into the game, to where it keeps a timer on the top left to keep track of where you're at.
So that's pretty smart. Portal was pretty big on the speedrun stuff, so that makes sense.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just weird that it has an official like, hey, keep track of your time and see how well you're doing. It has a lot of the same Portal type humor where, like, you have someone talking over you and kind of being a dick,
But it's a guy this time,
but it's a
not
guy. Again, Portal
not a
Two had a
lady.
guy. Yeah, I mean, wait, what's his face? Johnson?
Wheatley. And
No,
spoilers, dude.
no, I was talking about the founder of the company, like the
Oh, Cave Johnson, yeah.
yeah, Cave Johnson. Um, but it definitely is a again an interesting take on the concept. Again, some of the dialogue, I guess I won't say felt forced, but it was kind of different. Like it was like they were trying to be funny, I guess,
Right.
which again isn't bad because I was definitely so just captured by the puzzle. And when I was checking out the options, I clicked the speedrun thing, and it just starts. It starts off with this video. It shows the little intro video of the developers um, giving a rundown of the contest. And so they're literally walking around their studio. This one guy's walking around their studio, telling you about the contest while everyone's kind of running around. It's a again that's funny, and then it's all that good luck out there, and you start. And my first run through again with figuring out the puzzles, it took me 3 hours and 21 minutes,
Jesus.
which again isn't a super long game for my first run through, but at the same time, it's like it's a $13 game. That's not bad,
Yeah.
especially if you are gonna take part in the speedrunning thing where like you will have some replayability there. Like, okay, I figured out the
Sure.
puzzles. Now, how can I get better at these puzzles? I mean,
Right.
it's the same as Portal, right? It's the same way Portal plays.
Yeah. Figuring it out is just the first step. Then you have to figure out the most efficient way and the quickest way. And yeah.
And I definitely did some shit that they didn't. There's no way that what I did was not necessarily the most efficient way, but like I did it, but I don't think that was like the intention, that kind of thing.
Right.
Where, not that I broke the game, because the portal field definitely stops at the aesthetic because of your speed. Because with the physics puzzles, you definitely have the ability to uh, play with speed, and it feels better because of it. But
Right.
like this one's colors, it has nothing to do with speed. So you have a maximum speed, and that's it. You're done. And it's like, damn. So sometimes you feel like, hurry up, go, move, because they're the docile robots, circle sphere robots, and
Right.
there's some that attack you, and you have to use the fact that they'll chase you to your advantage to move them how you want to move them. Again, it's super clever. It's just a super clever mechanic. Except for you feel slow, so you're always like it raises the tension just enough to fuck with you.
Right.
Like I know there are certain, like I don't know, the game itself is just super cool, and I recommend it to people to give it a shot. Like it's just I don't know what to say. Like it's just it made me feel like I was playing Portal again for the first time. Like I don't know what it is. Like there are puzzles in games like Uncharted and stuff like that, but they never feel the same.
Yeah.
Like,
I've noticed that too. Nothing's ever felt quite like Portal did.
but this definitely did, and that's why I'm saying like definitely check it out. You don't have to do the speedrun thing because like I did it in 3 hours, and I know that was just me trying to figure things out and me stressing as the timer went off. But I saw that the leaderboards, I think like the fastest was like 29 minutes.
Jesus.
And I was like, oh, oh, I suck. But I
Almost
feel
like you do this as a hobby.
right. I mean, I was kind of like, this is how I feel looking at every speedrunner leaderboard, though. Like, where I'm like, wow, you did that in 18 minutes? That's impressive. It took
For
me a day.
in the speedrunner like community, which I assume is a thing.
It is.
Like are speedrunners like across multiple games?
Oh,
Like
yes.
is somebody
Yes.
just good at speed running or is somebody good at a game specifically?
Uh, not. I guess not to go into a lot of detail. A lot of them because it requires a lot of reflex and knowledge. You have to be able to get the reflexes and shit down, and then on top of that, a lot of them do end up being specific towards a single game. Uh, like some people are known as Mario speedrunners, some people are known as Zelda speedrunners,
Right.
stuff like that. The whole thing, the weird thing about speedrunners though is like they because of that they do tend to be a kind of a fragmented community
Right.
in terms of solidarity, I guess, because it's like, oh, okay, like whenever all these blogs go like, oh my god, he just broke the speed run record, you always have that one guy that goes like, well, it wasn't 100%. That's a speed run record of any completion. Anyone could have done that. Blah blah blah. Like again, it's like so weird, and they try to cut each other down sometimes. It's so bizarre.
Right.
But
Well, a lot of communities are like that, especially if you have an online component.
oh, very much so. But I just think it's very interesting that that particular one acts that way, and it's kind of like, you guys know that, like, just because that guy glitched the shit out of the game and beat it in 18.01.05 seconds, like, that's impressive too, along with your 3.5 hour 100% completion, because that still requires you knowing everything about the game, every nook and cranny. He has to
Right,
know
there's
all
room
the
for
broken
both.
shit. Yeah, he has to know all the broken shit. You have to just know everything.
Right.
But yeah, but I don't know if this particular game. I need to watch through all the videos, see what exactly they did, because I know some sections where they kind of force you to move slower.
Right.
So I'm like, how did you do? Did you just get lucky? Because there's one room where you have to wait for the door to open for each door, and I know I spent. That's at least 3 minutes for me as I sat there and was like, okay, wait, okay, door open, and then go, and then that door, the door next door I had to go to wasn't open, so I had to wait. I'm just like, how the fuck is this speed running?
Right.
This is
That's your one 30-second break for the whole run.
pretty much, yeah. Like the loading's not bad. It doesn't count against your time. Again, the fact that it keeps time for you, that way you have an official like, hey, this is what your game said. Like, it's pretty neat. Yeah, I mean, I kind of sometimes like, I wish I didn't click speedrun at first, so I wouldn't see the time. I probably would have taken my time a little more. But I
Right.
mean, 3.5 hours is still a good solid chunk of time for a single playthrough for me, considering right now I'm just so overly hyped about Overwatch, and those matches take like 10 minutes. Like, oh, that one match, 10 minutes. Okay, do it again. As opposed to, hey, everything's new for the next 3.5 hours. There's nothing that repeats itself.
Right.
Which, again, such a breath of fresh air. Just like, oh man, that Portal 1 feeling, the, hey, we did our best putting this together, what do you think? And it's
Right.
like, this is brilliant. Did you know you're geniuses? I don't know if you guys knew this, but holy shit.
And I don't want to boost your confidence too much, but like literally the next Valve.
Literally just get absorbed into Valve. Like, that's like the highest honor I think you could probably get.
Yep.
It's like, hey, we made our own game. We think it's pretty cool. Join us, assimilate.
You could even do one better than Valve and actually put out a third game in a series.
Get the fuck out of here. That's blasphemy. How dare you? Half-Life
Right.
3, or even Half-Life 2 Episode 3, Team Fortress 3, Left
I
4
would
Dead
like to take
3.
the time now to go ahead and announce that Half-Life 3 is actually happening.
It's
I would
confirmed.
like to do that. I can't do that, but I would like to.
It's confirmed. Headcanon. We're doing it, team. We're doing it, team.
We're just gonna make our own Half-Life 3. What are they gonna do? Sue us?
Exclusive. I mean, they could. They totally fucking
They could. I mean, they could easily.
Unless literally the entire game was literally you watch a radioactive isotope just going through its half-life.
Like, you can't actually confuse those two properties.
Like, no, what are you talking about? It's
I know,
three
I know
elements.
it wouldn't hold up in court, but I just picture it being like you start off by talking. You're just like, well, I mean, they weren't gonna make it, and then
I,
it turns out the judge is a Valve fan and just goes, "Yep, nope, not guilty.
not
They're good."
guilty, but you do need to change the name. I won't let them take anything for damages because they weren't gonna fucking make it anyway. So you have a free
Not
pass.
guilty, but you guys have to become Valve now.
You guys are Valve 2, Electric Boogaloo, and that's you have no choice in the matter. That's what you have to go by if you want to keep this game up. And it's like,
It's like y'all wanted to be the smartasses and make a game that you knew somebody else was already, in ownership of, so now you're stuck with it.
I mean, all the free press would be the best, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, it really would.
Okay,
I mean,
so
that'd be a hell of a story.
it'd be super fun. Again, it's one of those things where like the whole breath of fresh air thing. Like even though like this is an indie game, there's lots. Like, as Jim Sterling put it not that long ago, he goes, the reason why so many people only see like hold indie like these indie games to such a high accord is that there's literally hundreds of them released a week. So not really, but I mean there's a shit ton of them released all the time. And
Yeah,
the
there's a
one,
lot more indie games than there are big budget games.
right, and the ones that get the most press, the ones that get attention, are the ones that are good, because you don't want to
Right.
waste your fucking time, waste your space, uh, making articles and shit about, hey, this is garbage. Excuse me.
Right. Writing a story about a shitty indie game doesn't get any media attention. It doesn't sell.
Unless again you're
Sell
Yahtzee
anything.
Croshaw.
Right. But even then, like it's got to be comically bad. It can't just be bad, and it can't just be nobody. It's got to be some sort of story attached to it. An
Right.
indie game that sucks is just another story. But
Oh, it just goes by the wayside. Like, cool, it sucked. Yeah, I figured.
Right.
Like that's it.
Right.
There's no pizzazz. So when it comes to those kinds of games, I think that's the reason why the recent Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Battlefield 1 thing really kind of hit home. And it should hit home to Activision. Is like, hey, you want to take it to space. It's different for Call of Duty, but we have Halo. Now Doom is back in full action with this Space Marine, whatever fuck. Like, you can't sit there and be like, it's different for us though, and act like it's not already saturated the market.
Right.
But Battlefield 1, a World War One game, holy shit! Like, you've caught my attention. You've got my attention. Because
Yeah.
mustard gas, trench warfare, biplanes, all these things are unique to this particular battlefield.
Yeah. And it's been long enough since we did an old timey war that we can go back to that well now.
And I think with the technology where it is now, I think that it would. And the way the battlefield has destructible buildings, the way they do vehicles, I think it would fit perfectly for
Yeah.
the genre.
It's gonna be interesting at least.
It's gonna be interesting.
You're gonna see a lot of people suddenly become World War One fans.
Oh god, I can't wait for all the people that fucking do their Wikipedias and they're like, well, in World War One, the trench warfare, and they really had. It's like, dude, you only know that now. Which again, I don't mind the fact that something triggered someone's interest in history, but it's like one of those things where
It doesn't make you an expert.
Yeah, accept your nerdiness for where it's at, and accept your new knowledge. Like, I admit that. Like, I'll be the first to admit, like, hey, when this happened, I went out and decided to learn more about it. Like,
Right.
Again, seeing the trailer for Designated Survivor, apparently that's a real thing. I didn't know that
Yeah.
that was a thing, that they
Yeah.
did that.
Because that was actually a plot in one of the Tom Clancy books, like I was telling you about earlier. Like one of them has like the same like concept, and that like almost all of Congress gets wiped out in one fell swoop at the State of the Union because everybody's there, and it's just fucking like Jack Ryan or somebody who's left, so he's now the president. And you're like, okay, so this guy's gone from being like some random like accountant in the CIA to now he's president. Like, really, all in one lifetime? Okay.
At
Okay,
least
Tom.
at least a member of the cabinet makes sense in the show. Like, yeah, you put someone to the side. If you literally lose the next 13 people,
Right.
Like, there's no, oh well, it's there's no
Nobody left. This is it.
this is it. Like,
We'd be going with like some random like undersecretaries, like I don't know, it'd be weird. Wonder how far they've ever figured out the whole line of succession. Like how far down does it officially go?
all the way down to the Speaker of the House.
What if
And
he dies?
again, I think it goes down to they do have a whole there's a whole chart of who's next in line. Succession. Let me look at that.
Yeah, because it's
Succession
spelled out in
to
the what
president.
25th Amendment.
Ooh,
Isn't that right?
Is it an amendment?
Yeah, I think so.
Apparently, blah 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 blah. The Congressional Act, Succession Act of 1792, then 1886, 1947. Postmaster General removed in 1971.
Like they
Secretary of
pulled the
Homeland
Postmaster
Security.
General off of it.
Yeah, so he's no longer on the list. But Secretary of Homeland Security added in 2006.
Great, I'm so glad we have that in there now.
That makes sense, right?
The only less well-run organization in the government than the post office.
Okay. You're right. 25th Amendment in 1967, but it was
Yeah, I know my shit.
But Article 2, Section 1, Clause 6 of the Constitution is what kind of already had that. And they're trying to add me to this call to play games. Not happening. Recording this. But yeah, so yeah, 25th Amendment, the Vice President, direct successor, and then I wish it would just give me a list. Give me a goddamn list of. Although that would probably be. I mean, what list do I get put on for looking up what are the successors to the president?
I mean, the list that everybody else is on, probably.
Like,
I mean, if that's really all it takes to get on the list, then we're all on it.
It's true. I mean, my Google history is definitely okay. So here's the order: you have the president, he dies, boom. Vice president, he dies, boom. Speaker of the House of Representatives, boom, he dies. President pro tempore of the Senate,
Right.
and then boom, dead. Secretary of State, boom. Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Defense, Attorney General, Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Veteran Affairs, and then the very end is Secretary of Homeland Security.
Wait, why is Secretary of Transportation above the Secretary of Education?
Because we gotta have planes and shit, yo.
Like, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, yeah, I want the guy who's in charge of how many highways there are leading the country, but not the person in charge of how, like, we determine what an education system is and how our children.
Well,
are
remember though,
educated.
everyone moves up. So it's
Right.
let's say it ends at.
Well, not everyone moves up. You don't just like change which cabinet position you have.
You might.
I don't think so. Well, because like so if House of Cards has taught me anything, so Vice President bumps up the president, Speaker of the House bumps up to Vice President, I guess. But I mean, you don't just suddenly go from being like the Labor Secretary to being the Transportation Secretary. Like you know that job, you were picked for that position, you weren't elected. So I don't think everybody bumps up. I don't think like. I doubt like the director of Homeland Security is like sitting there like kind of like holding his breath like, man, if we could just lose like one cabinet member, I can bump up to education.
I don't think
it's like the fry cook at McDonald's. I don't think you're waiting for the next guy to die off so you can get a
I
promotion.
honestly think that would make the most interesting fucking plot ever though. Like someone is okay, so here's the plot, right? The Secretary of Energy is like, I fucking hate this. I want to be Secretary of Transportation. So it's an entire assassination plot to move up from 14 to 13.
So just in case the other 13 people die, I'll be right there.
I'll be
waiting.
ready to go. Yeah.
I'm not going to kill those people. Just the one guy ahead of me.
I mean, isn't
that
it's kingdoms? It's the way the kingdoms and shit worked back in the day, right? You would kill.
Yeah, but your plan was to
person.
consistently like kill more and more people until there's nobody left, which you can do when there isn't like the knowledge of fingerprints or Google data. Yeah, you can go kill all the fucking, feudal lords you want. Nobody's gonna give a shit.
I mean,
If you start bumping off the entire line of secession for the United States, people might catch on.
maybe I would hope so, but uh, I mean, let's be real. We're talking about a show where they literally nuke, or not nuke, but like they bomb the State of the Union,
Yeah,
and
ballsy.
it's ballsy. That takes a lot of balls.
I was pretty intrigued by that trailer though. Um,
Kiefer Sutherland intrigues me. He brings a certain gravitas. I wish he would got. I wish he had been a bigger, I guess, movie star. But he sticks to television, which is
I
fine.
mean, what was it? Lost Boys. Pretty much crushed it. So just peaked early. That's all.
You just peaked super early. I have yet to begun to peak.
It was only like 85. I mean, it was pretty recent.
True. Relatively speaking, that was still before I was born. So,
I mean, Kiefer Sutherland's last leading role in a movie is closer to now than it was to the dinosaurs. So,
it's exactly my point. Relatively speaking,
it was pretty cosmically recent. Like it's been in the last like 5 billion years or so.
I fucking hate you because of that. Everything's recent then. Oh, dude, I asked you to do that a long time ago. Well, in the cosmic sense, like, what is the point of taking out the trash? I mean, everything's recently. You asked me recently. God, that's the kind of bullshit that would make me want to strangle you sometimes. I'd be like, no, Nick, no, you take out the trash now.
You know what I fucking meant.
You bastard.
This isn't even a real conversation. You're just being a dick.
Like, dude, that was last week. Yeah, but you know what else happened last week? Like, no, I don't. It smells. Take it out. But speaking of trailers, though. Speaking of trailers, Ghostbusters.
Speaking of trailers.
2. Ghostbusters. Why did I say Ghostbusters 2? No. It is Ghostbusters 2016.
It's just Ghostbusters.
No, it's Ghostbusters 2016. There has to be a distinction now because there's Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's how it shows up on Wikipedia, but I mean, it's still Ghostbusters.
Okay, if I say, like, man, Ghostbusters was a good movie, you better have some fucking questions for me.
Yeah, like, how did you see it already?
No,
it's not out yet.
Not even that. But which one?
Nah, I'm gonna know. I'm gonna know the inflection. Which one you mean?
Oh, Ghostbusters.
Yeah, there's Ghostbusters and there's Ghostbusters.
And then it'd be like, oh, you saw the new one, huh? Like,
yeah.
Oh.
Depends on how effeminately you say it, because all I've heard about the movie is that it's all women and that people have opinions on that.
Okay, the new trailer. It just came out today, right? Or yesterday?
Yeah.
Today? Whatever.
Today, I think.
Just came out today. Holy shit. I understand that they wanted to show more, but they spoil it.
They did. The problem though is that it's a really good trailer, like in and of itself.
Is it? Do you think?
Yeah,
So?
yeah. I think it's a great trailer.
I think it's a better trailer. That's setting the bar low to me, in my opinion.
I think that it balanced out what they were showing off more. The one or two jokes they decided to include were decently funny and gave enough context to make sense. I mean, overall, I thought comparatively it was a significantly better trailer. But that brings up, a tougher point in that, we as a collective unit, as a society, just complained the fuck out of that last one about how it didn't show anything and it was just rehashing old shit and, nothing was funny in it. And so what do? They immediately put out another trailer that gives you everything. Jokes, plot points, context, and now we're upset that it's giving us too much. Can't win.
I think it's not about like, okay, can you win? You can't win, because it's not that I think that it gave too much. Like I heard that complaint and I was kind of like, I don't think so. I think the problem is what they gave was shit. Like, it has nothing to do with how much. It's just that what they gave was garbage. And I was like, this is just um like the jokes weren't funny. Like this one had a couple funnier jokes, I guess, but it was definitely more. I don't know, like it better showcase what the movie's gonna feel like as opposed to literally aping off of the theme song and then talking about the previous movie. And it's like, okay, could you do better than that? I think you can. They did do better, but then they spoil it. It's kind of like, okay, come on, like, who in the fuck is in the marketing department? Who the fuck thinks that revealing something like, again, and I don't want to spoil it, but at the same time, it's kind of like the trailer's out there. Watch the trailer. We're talking about the trailer. It's
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
fucking trailer.
trailer spoilers going forward. Obviously, we don't know what happens in the movie, but anything that you can see or infer from the trailer is about to be talked about here. So,
So the ghost takes over Chris Hemsworth, and then
yeah,
he
Thor is all ghosted,
he gets ghosted. He gets ghost all over him, all over his face.
and goes from being a large, attractive, nerd to like sex figure immediately, like riding off on a motorcycle and shit. Which I actually kind of think is funny because it's kind of a reverse of the stereotype. So I'm actually kind of forward to that, and not just because it's Chris Hemsworth.
Again, the whole movie is this. Not like that's like some conspiracy, but you definitely see the. I guess it's the agenda, the fact that it's women now, and we have a male secretary. Tee, and it's like, all right, I guess. Like
I think it's funny. I personally think that's hilarious.
again,
I think that if it were Tina Fey writing this, she would have done the exact same thing, and everybody would have praised her for it.
I don't think so. I think that she has a lot of credibility and a lot of clout in terms of nerd culture and this and that, but it's still Ghostbusters, and it still aims to reboot that series, ignoring the prior two films and the cartoon shows and everything else. Which, okay, it's whatever. Hollywood likes to rape people's past as much as possible, but I think that it just feels because again with the first trailer revealed with the whole you guys are the smart ones, and you had the only black character in the cast be just super street smart. It's just
Well, okay, so I don't know if you caught it, but it seemed like there was at least some potential for there being more of an explanation for that. Um,
she worked for the
you know,
train company. Like she worked for the transit
it's more than
authority.
that. In this new trailer, the exact wording was something along the lines of, only we can see what's happening. I don't know if that's meant to be, metaphorical, like we're the only ones that see like the writing on the walls, or maybe they're the only ones that are actually visually seeing things, which would explain why it's these four people and no one else. I don't know. Just a thought.
That 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 would be a thought, and I think that would be fucking stupid. I was hoping it was just writing on the wall kind of thing. Like we see the conspiracy behind it. The people in power are saying no because they're ghosts. Ooh, like okay, I can because again that's they're including all these possessions and shit. So it's like okay, the people in charge, those behind the curtain, are controlled by the paranormal. So that's why they're like, don't relax, people. It's nothing. And they're like, we're the only ones that can see what's happening. That's why we have to do something. If it's literally they're the only ones that can see the ghosts.
I mean, I'm not willing to write off any plot point before I've seen it. It can be done well. Anything can be done right if you're willing to give it, the right amount of effort.
From what you've seen from trailer 1 and trailer 2, do you really think that the only we can see ghosts thing is going to be done like
I mean,
well?
so far from what I've seen, I saw an initial trailer that was very reserved and not trying to show anything new, just trying to show you that they know where they're coming from. And then I see a new trailer that's a response to that, as best I can tell, in which they try and respond by giving the people what they've been asking for. So, I mean, I wouldn't judge anything about the movie based off the trailers because, one, trailers are marketing and they're done by different people and not the people that actually wrote or directed or shot the movie, which we've, heard from Melissa McCarthy that she didn't like.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. I mean, that's very clear. The marketing department is so separate because even the Warcraft trailer had that weird dubstep, and Duncan Jones, the director, was kind of like, "Yeah, that was garbage."
yeah.
Like that has nothing compared to what we actually shot. It doesn't have the same feel. Doesn't have anything. That is stupid. And I was like, "Oh, you go, Duncan Jones."
So yeah, no, I'm not willing to judge a movie based off the trailers. I'm not willing to judge plot points based off of a throwaway line in a trailer. I
Again,
would have to see it.
a trailer is meant to entice, and it to me has failed to do so.
See, it entices me. I mean, and especially like the one thing that I really didn't want to have seen in that, but I'm even more enticed by seeing it is the Stay Puft Man. Like, I now I really want to know how they're going to incorporate Stay Puft Man back into it.
And again, it that to me doesn't interest me because I'm just like, you couldn't think of something else. You had to go right back to reference, 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 reference. Look, Slimer. It's like, holy shit. At least try. Like, the
But
cartoon.
again, we're only seeing bits and pieces. For all we know, that's like the only shot of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Like we don't know.
True, but that's what I'm saying. They're trying to use this desire for nostalgia to get you into the seat, to get you to pay that money. And to me, it seems like a shameless cash grab with a message.
But we don't know yet because we haven't seen it. We know
I
that
said
they're.
it seems. I didn't say it
I know,
was.
I know.
Based
But
on
the
what
point
I've
I'm
seen.
But the
That's
point I'm making is that the way you're going to market this is by trying to evoke memories of what has already come. Like, you're not going to market a Ghostbusters movie by trying to show off how you're not Ghostbusters. Like, the only marketing you need to do is to show that you are still making Ghostbusters movies and that they're not literally shot for shot remakes.
I think that when you look at, like, again, I'll reference some of the greatest marketing that I've seen in such a long time. When you look at The Force Awakens, the only thing that it did was show you the X-wing and Luke's hand and
For
all.
the initial thing.
Right.
For the initial.
It's literally
And
like,
then the next one showed that one of our main characters was going to be a stormtrooper. And that upset a lot of people, especially that he was black, no less. But
oh, how dare there be black stormtroopers?
it really bothered people. Like, it was funny. But yeah, a lot of people were upset. They're like, "Oh, well, now we know that one of the main characters is a stormtrooper." They also thought it was going to be shot on Tatooine, but
It's
people
just
were really sure
by
that
saying
day.
that it's Jakku and then but not Tatooine. It doesn't. It could have been on Tatooine, and it would have made zero difference to the plot. The naming of the planet makes zero difference.
True, but the fact that it reminds us visually of Tatooine is not an accident. Like, it's done on purpose. And using one of those shots, one that we'll recognize as Tunisia because we've seen Tunisia before, we know what Tatooine looks like that was chosen on purpose to be the first actual shot of the movie that we saw in trailers. Like, that wasn't an accident. It's
Oh,
immediately to evoke memories. Like, that's the whole point.
no, I know that. I know that, and again, that's what I'm saying. But the marketing itself was just, I think, spot on, because if it wasn't just a straight up, like, again, if this was Ghostbusters 3, like a legit rewind 10 years, Ghostbusters 3, and the marketing was just, you see a proton pack, you see Ecto 1, and then you see Slimer fly across the screen, and then boom, Ghostbusters 3. That's all I would have needed to be like, okay, let's see where this goes. But the fact that they're like, we've recast everybody. By the way, they're all women. By the way, whatever happened before didn't actually happen. So this is completely new. And it's like, oh, okay. But what made the other things like funny were the fact that I thought that those people were funny. Like, I thought Bill Murray was funny. I like Dan Aykroyd as an actor. And again, even growing up after it's released, after Ghostbusters 2's been released, like, I understand where that feeling comes from, because, like, when you go back to watch old movies, you don't go, oh, let me just throw this in. At least I don't. I personally don't. I definitely go back and go, what has this person done that I've liked? Do I like this person? And that's where I get either pleasantly surprised, blah blah blah. Because I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan in terms of his action movies and such. Top Gun being my favorite movie of all time, Danger Zone.
Right.
But then when I see him in Tropic Thunder, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm like, oh, I never would have thought. If he was just starring in a straight up comedy, if that's what the trailer showed, Tom Cruise starring in this crazy comedy, I'd be like, this is gonna suck. Because it again just depends, but most of the time I'll probably think, not in your wheelhouse, just not in your wheelhouse. Like it's fine to branch out if you can find it, but a lot of the times it's bad scripts, bad directors, and it doesn't do service to like who you are as an actor, I guess. I don't know. I guess it just depends on how you play it. Much
Right. Just to backtrack for a little bit, I agree that The Force Awakens marketing was done really well. Star Wars has the benefit of having an entire company built around it. They have Lucasfilm, which is not unused to marketing. Ghostbusters doesn't have that. They don't have the same, people around it. So I'm not surprised that the marketing isn't as good. The other thing I want to say is that, just because the marketing isn't good doesn't mean the movie's not going to be good. You can very badly market movies. You can very badly cut trailers from very good movies. And you can cut very good trailers from very bad movies.
Yes,
The biggest thing
I agree.
the biggest thing for me is that if they had just put out a trailer like what you said, that was just Ghostbusters and just showed the proton pack, it might work to get people in, but it's not going to get younger people in. Like, they're not going to care. If you didn't grow up watching Ghostbusters, you're not going to give a shit about it.
Well, I mean, the whole thing. The only reason why young people would know about it anyway. The whole reason why it's not called something else, not like there's no subtitle. It's not Ghostbusters 3, is because Ghostbusters. I think I've heard of that, and then you just go and watch it anyway because a lot of kids don't really give a shit. But
Right. And they're also not going to want to go see Ghostbusters 3 because they didn't watch Ghostbusters 1 or 2, and why would they start now? Whereas if you just call it Ghostbusters, whether it's a reboot or a reimagining or a remake or whatever you want to call it, it at least feels to a younger generation like it's a new thing.
right, and again, that's what
Like if you had made the A-Team movie a continuation of the A-Team series, nobody would have given a shit because nobody watched it. Nobody's going to know.
Here's the thing. Here's where I have to disagree in terms of you had the '60s Star Trek show, and then you had Star Trek: The Motion Picture, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, so on and so forth, that it did very well years after the fact. Years after the fact. Because they were good movies.
I think
on
they're
their
the
own.
outlier.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. They're good movies on their own, and I think whenever you start seeing people try to ape off of the success of others, it really, again, it's borderline fucking transmorphers. I forgot what's the company that does that shit again. Fuck, I forgot the name. They do the rip-off movies that come out that are around the same time.
I'm not sure.
It's like Pacific Rim. They came out with Atlantic Rim.
I have no idea.
They do the Sharktopus versus Giant Squid or some bullshit.
Are you talking about sci-fi?
It's a certain company that does it. I just forgot their name.
Yeah.
It feels like that where they're like, hey, we don't actually like know how to make a good movie, but we know what we're gonna do though. We're gonna make a movie that looks like the movie that you would probably like. The Asylum. Fuck, that's what they're called. The Asylum. We're gonna make a movie that looks similar to what you were gonna watch, and hopefully you just watch it because you think it's that movie.
Right.
Like they do it all the time. Pirates of the Caribbean, Pirates of Treasure Island.
Like the companies that make like game consoles and call them like the game station or whatever.
That's
so
exactly
that you think
it.
it's the wrong thing.
It's that. Entirely 100% that. And that's the feel I kind of get off this. Where it's kind of like, no, guys, for real, it's Ghostbusters because we have the name, and it's like I don't know about that. Like, it was an uphill battle for them in the beginning. The fact that they didn't have any of the original cast, the fact that Harold Ramis died,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't want to go see this movie. Like, and I was hoping the trailers would kind of convince me, and they have yet to do so. And I'll go see any crap, but like, and I admit that it's crap. I'll see any crap, but I don't know. Like this one just worries me that it's gonna be, like the whole statement is we're different, but you can't make that statement and then be sucking on the dick of the nostalgia of the old movies. Like if you're gonna be different, be bold, do you do you, boo boo, and I'll support that. But if you're or go the opposite direction, we're just straight up remaking this shit. Okay, be upfront, but you can't say we're different and then sit there and show me fucking Slimer and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in the fucking trailer. Because I'll just be like, oh, I guess you're not. I guess you're not so different because that's not different.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they're in kind of an almost no win situation. If they put out something that looks similar to Slimer or functions the same way as Slimer, people will just complain that they didn't use Slimer. Like, oh, we got a perfectly good character. Why don't we just use him? Like, I mean, you're not gonna be able to please everybody.
I'm not saying to try to please everybody. I'm just saying that if you're only you can't market it, at least in press conferences and shit, as different. If so far the only thing different you've shown is the fact that it's Rule 63. It's just gender bent. Cool. Like doesn't really
I don't know. I don't remember the secretary being potentially the or one of the bad guys in the original.
what was his face? Not necessarily the secretary, but Rick Moranis' character in what, 2? Is that what that was in 2, right?
That was the first one.
Was it the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Gatekeeper,
so
Keymaster.
good. God damn, that movie was so good. It's so much
It is,
greatness.
and that right there, like they've already got the character that's a nerdy guy who becomes much more not nerdy when he's inhabited by a ghost. Like that's not even a unique thing that they're doing in this one.
And that again,
They're just,
that's even more so my whole problem. Like you can't say we're different.
but that wasn't your problem with it before. It's only your problem with it now that I've mentioned it. You didn't
No,
even
no.
catch it before.
Again, no. I didn't catch that particular detail. But what did I say before that? Their only difference is gender bent.
Right,
And,
but
and
that
now
was not
you've
even
brought
gender bent.
uh, but it kind of is. Like the fact that he's the secretary. Her, like okay, the secretary is a man now. That's it. It's gender bent. But then they recycle the exact same plot line that a sub character that isn't someone who isn't the Ghostbusters, but is directly works with the Ghostbusters gets possessed and
Right, but it's either a rehash or it isn't. And to me, it seems like they take elements of it without doing the exact same thing, which is kind of what I would like them to do if they're going to redo a movie that's classic from my childhood.
I mean, we'll see. Because again, you can't touch like Ghostbusters in a lot of ways because it's just like, it really is just so good, and you're like, oh, there's so many things about it. It's so creative and inventive, but when you go back to that well, and that's why some of the cartoons were kind of like, okay, I guess for kids programming, it informed a lot more about certain characters. It went into depth, but it's definitely not not the same level. The game, I don't know. I don't know. It feels like we we've reached a point where if you're gonna redo something, at least try to do something. Like think about the Vacation remake. It's not really a remake. It literally is a continuation, but then instead of filling it with anything funny, they were like, let's do it well. Yeah, like Charlie just said, do it well. Just do it well. The Vacation movie was literally, hey, we're gonna take this franchise. You know, it's had some misses, and like Vacation was good, Christmas Vacation was good, Vegas Vacation was okay, Christmas Vacation 2 was kind of shit, like things like that. Like it did have its bad moments, but when they're like, okay, we're gonna take the kid Rusty, we're gonna have him be an adult now, but now it's just gonna be gross out humor. Watch as they rub shit on themselves. It's like, did you not get what made the first one funny, or made anything prior to that funny? It wasn't them literally rubbing shit on themselves. Like I feel like that's a distinction that a lot of people, a lot of filmmakers, I guess, just aren't making. Or is that just me? Is that just me? I don't think that's just me.
I don't know. I didn't see the Vacation remake, so I'm not familiar with the rubbing shit aspect. But I mean, if that's what you do with the property that's a funny movie and you make it not funny and make it gross out instead, then yeah, you fucked up. Like I'm fully on board, you know, beating down movies that are bad. Like I don't think we should support movies being made poorly. I'm really wary of judging anything by the damn trailer, just because so many trailers suck for movies that don't, and so many trailers don't suck for movies that do. Like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, I think, is probably the perfect example for me, in that it's such a bad trailer because it ruins everything. You're I don't know, like that's obviously a bad trailer, but the movie itself was great. And if all you'd seen was a trailer, you'd probably be turned off by it because you feel like you've got the full experience already. But you missed out on a really good movie.
Right, and they're making a sequel though, so I mean, at least they're the creators of it know what they have. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely a positive, I think, in my book. When they're like, we're still gonna fucking do it. Fuck you. Okay. I don't know. Long story short, you're still enticed to see the movie. I'm definitely not. Like it just doesn't.
I mean, I'm gonna want to see it even if it's a train wreck. Like I like the experience either way. So
I just don't want to again throw money. Again, it's one of those things where, shit. Where do you end the madness to support like ticket sales to certain things? That's why I stopped watching Transformers movies. Like I know they're gonna make $1 billion, but I'm not gonna be throwing my part into the pot.
my issue with it is, you know, I like movies being made. I like good movies. I don't even care if some movies that are bad come out. But I like when movies are good. So I try and support any movie that's even remotely trying to do something I like. Because if you don't spend money at the movie theater, even on something that you may not love as much as you could, you're just encouraging the people that make those decisions to not care about what you think about movies. Like if they're not going to make money off of you, they don't care. So
Right, but it's one of those things where if enough people don't go, it's like, we had this idea to cash grab on an old property. Think of Gem and the Holograms, because again, everyone thought that like just having a fucking property was all you needed. You get an IP, make the movie, easy money. Gem and the Holograms ate shit at the box office. It's one of those things where not enough people knew it. Like blah 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 blah. It just wasn't a good movie. There's a lot of problems fucking with it. So it's like, you have to kind of understand where the money for movies is going to, and it really comes down to having decent story, decent movie, everything. You gotta do it well. You just gotta do it well.
Yeah.
But have you seen to switch topics? Have you seen the new? The full logo for Kojima's game company, the new game company.
I have not.
Oh shit! That website is playing music. No bueno. There, I linked it to you. Careful, it does play music.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there. But yeah, remember he had the helmet?
Yeah.
With the skull. Well, he has a full body logo that he just came out, and I wanted to know from a design aspect person as yourself what you thought of it. Because I personally think it's interesting. It apparently might be a character to his new game that he's developing. Not just his fucking game logo, but literally the character in the game.
Right. I mean, it seems like from what I'm reading here, it's a character. I mean, it's not even a logo. Like the logo. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Okay. Um, yeah. So it's a dude, and the logo's down there. The logo's first impression is not great. Really, really not great. Um, the the artwork on it's really busy, and it's kind of hard to distinguish what anything is without like staring at it.
Right.
And even just like kind of the production of the art, and it's not great. Like the lines aren't very crisp. It looks like it's a JPEG of a JPEG of a JPEG, and that could just be the way they've hosted
Do
it.
I look like I know what a JPEG is?
Yeah, that could just be that it's hosted badly, but like even looking at it, it's not great. It's not the worst I've ever seen. That would go to Instagram, but not great.
I'm just saying. I think it's an interesting look for a character, kind of a space knight. Like, okay, I
Oh yeah,
can.
I'm all about that. Just the logoized version of it's kind of shit. But yeah, the space, like, and that seems to be becoming a thing. Like with fuck, what was that Bungie
Genre
game?
mixing.
Yeah, what was that Bungie game that I didn't play? Cause fuck it. God,
StarCraft,
I'm spacing.
Bungie, uh, ODST. No,
No, this is the one they just put out.
Destiny.
Destiny. Yes, that crap where it's fantasy role playing style of characters and like futuristic armor and shit. Like that's kind of becoming a thing apparently, which I'm cool with. I don't mind genre mixing.
I love genre mixing. It's kind of like musical genre mixing. It adds a different kind of flavor to it that feeds back into the genre itself.
Right.
Which
I mean,
again,
it more than doubles the potential, options you have out there too, which is cool. I like seeing new and unique things. I don't know. I'd be interested to see where this goes.
it's kind of like the space western was a thing for quite a while, and it still kind of is. Again, Destiny kind of feels like that space western feel, but you add wizards and magic and shit. But
Right.
you have things like Outlaw Star, and then Firefly, which Joss Whedon said he never saw Outlaw Star, and I don't fucking believe that for a second, because it's the exact same thing, just live action. It's a live action Outlaw Star. Anyway, doesn't make it bad because I love Firefly, but it's kind of like, come on, come on, come on. Let's be real. I like the whole space Nazi thing that fucking Killzone was doing. Like I'm okay. I'm okay with adding these elements and themes that are typically reserved for certain genres to be explored in other things. So I mean, Kojima's new game, it totally fucking gets my attention. Gets me jazzed. Gets me a little jazzed, to say the least.
I mean, he's never really boring, so I'll be paying attention either way.
I mean, some could say he's long-winded,
Long-winded maybe, but I mean,
but
just
never
like
boring. Long-winded, but never boring.
yeah, the events that surround him and everything he touches are always just interesting. It's not a boring life, he never just kind of sits quietly in the background and lets other people take the spotlight. It's not really his style.
It makes me hopeful that he and Guillermo del Toro will team up again and actually put forth that project. Because I mean, the fact that they got fucking Norman Reedus on board, like, intrigued the shit out of me. The fact that it was gonna be Silent Hills, but like probably done right. It just all of it just really got me super excited. And the fact, we're gonna close it. It's like, oh well, fuck, that sucks. That sucks. But again, lots of things to look forward to that I think are going to eat up my wallet. I'm definitely gonna be playing a shit ton of Overwatch. It's gonna. Are you gonna get Overwatch? Please tell me you're gonna get Overwatch.
I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it, to be honest.
I recommend it highly.
I mean, like, I had several games on my Steam wish list go on sale today, so that happened.
I mean, I'm getting Civ 6 for sure, so you and I could play that.
Yeah, I've already bought Civ 6.
God damn it, dude.
I have the money right now. I don't have to want to worry about it then. Like, if shit comes up that week, I ain't waiting.
True enough. You wanna get on board day one, get that day one patch going.
I want it to be fucking pre-downloaded like days in advance, ready to roll. I mean, after it was announced, I had dreams about Civ.
See, I started playing Civ 5 right away. One of the things that definitely got me was the fact that I had to download Overwatch. I had to keep it on my computer. Like as soon as that gate is down, I'm in. Like I'll probably deal with the same shit that happened with Diablo 3, where the servers like explode. But like
Yep.
I don't care. I'm there. It's gonna be amazing. Like I just can't not play it. Like again, I've seen so many videos now about Overwatch withdrawal, and it's real. Like the shit is real. Like people are like, oh no, like I need to play this game. And like I said, one of the guys who had mentioned that I'm not gonna play this game. Like I already figured it out too easy. 3 days later, he's just like, I need to play it. Oh my god, I didn't think I was even gonna buy it because I thought it was stupid.
Just like shaking just a little bit. Like, come on, man, I just need a little bit more. Just need a hit. Just need to get me through the day.
It's that Dave Chappelle. You got any more of that crack? Like it's got more Overwatch beta, please.
My dog just freaked out and got in my face like she was really concerned about what was happening.
Which, I mean,
because I was pantomiming the entire like shakes and everything, so she's freaking out now.
She's like, "Why are you shaking? I don't smell anything off. What's going on?
What's wrong, Dad? I don't understand. How can I help?
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are those?"
Now she's looking around because I did the voice that I do for her, and she knows what her voice is.
You have a particular. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't know why I'm going to question that.
Oh yeah, Britta has a voice in my head and in my mouth. I use a particular voice for her, which is also the voice I use for general stupidity. So, like, if I'm just making fun of like a generic stupid person, it's the same dog.
Get out of my dreams and into my.
So it might just be that I think she's stupid, but
I mean,
right?
She is.
Exactly.
But there's nothing wrong with the bit of stupid. All right, so we talked about it a lot. We'll see what happens next time. Next time on the roundtable, we'll see what happens. Doing it live is definitely fun. Hopefully, grow a bit more, have people communicate with us a little more, open it up to that. Next week, Shauna should be back on with us. Maybe Will, not sure. Zeke definitely needs to figure out his schedule to get with us.
Real Zeke, what the hell, man?
I know it's such a shame. Like literally, one of the guys in the chat. I don't know if you had joined the chat at the point where said, "I want to buy an anime body pillow, but don't want to buy a used one with someone's jizz on it. But I don't want to spend $100 on a new one. I need help."
I did see that one, and I'm totally willing to make this like the saddest live, Dear Abby thing ever, if that's how you guys want it to go. So just let me know.
If that's how it goes,
we can arrange that.
We'll do that. We'll do that for you.
I will Martha Stewart this bitch up.
It will definitely be intriguing because again, the only suggestion I had for him was fucking J-List, because that's what my friend for. Like, cause what's the Fleshlight go for? I have no idea. Like, they're not cheap. They're
name brand or off brand?
Name brand. Like, they're not cheap.
Name brand's like minimum of like $100.
Yeah, for $25 he got a one off of J-List, and then he buys a waifu pillow, And I'm just all like, dude, you have completed the circle of never leaving the house again. Congratulations.
For real though, like
I,
you did it. Does he work from home too?
well, he's technically on disability. Like, he's disabled.
Oh, so yeah, like for real, like he never has to leave.
He doesn't leave the house. Like, I love the guy. Like, he's one of the guys I game with. I hope to bring him on the show at some point because he's a fucking riot sometimes. But yeah, he when he was like showing me, I was all like, yeah, dude, like
Killer.
I am so I wish I was at that point of like, fuck it, this is my life now. Like like I don't think I'm just quite there at that fuck it point, like that level.
I don't even think it's fuck it point for people like that. Like that's like living the dream. Like, this is what I wanted, was to never have to go outside, and now I don't.
And now I don't. I have food brought to me. The only thing he has to do is, I think, go down to the corner store and buy a pack of cigarettes. It's like the most he does. And I always
See, that's not my dream, but I recognize it as a dream. So like I feel for him. Like he's got his dream.
he's looks like we made it.
Right. Some of us are just lucky, some of us aren't.
Some of us are just fucking lucky. All right, but yeah, that's it for the Roundtable this week. I'm debating about how to go about it, but I guess I just go about it. Brought to you by, I forgot the name. Is that awful? Is that a bad thing? Did I forget what it's called?
I mean, you're probably not a stooge if you can't even remember the name. So,
I mean, I should have notes in front of me. I know I always see DJs and everything else have these notes in front of them. Toolsheet Jewelers at tj.jewelershowcase.com, run by one of my friends. Need some jewelry for wedding, engagement, just to kind of bribe the male or female in your life to do things for you, or you're in a bad spot and it's kind of like the only way to make up for that is jewelry. I think that's the way to go, is like a necklace or a ring. Pull a Kobe. Kobe got I'm not saying spend the $4 million at Kobe.
but like you could drop a couple hundred, no big deal.
Yeah, like just drop a little bit, mention us, say, hey, we sent them. Again, I'd like to thank Pixel Maniacs for sending me that game. It's a good game.
We'll edit it in later.
It's fine. No, it's fine. High CPU.
Nick's portion of the Chromagun review brought to you by nobody because he bought his copy.
Oh, see,
yeah.
but think about it though. They did their job. I mean, it did its
Yeah,
job.
no, totally.
They gave it to me, and now you got it. So I'm kind of like, okay, two.
They sold
for
at least one copy.
Yeah, it at least got one person interested, and I hope it interests other people. I know I brought up the Twilark, but yeah, as always, I've been Kim Sex, Kitty Man, Sam, Adrian, whatever you want to call me. Hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/thekittyman. And Nick, as always, you can find him on Twitter, twitter.com/Morty42, right? I got that
That's
right?
it. Yep.
Got it right.
You can also find me in real life, which is where I spend most of my time.
I mean, you say that, but that's honestly advocating someone to stalk you.
Pretty much. And I've already got that happening, so let's not do that again.
Let's not do that. Find me. No. Don't say that. Never say that.
Here's my address, my work schedule, and my social security number.
My address is 1313 Mockingbird Lane. I live in the
42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
That's actually a place, though. I mean, that's actually a place.
Yeah, but I'm never going there.
I'm never going to Sydney. I would love for someone from Australia to do that shit. Just let us know. Hey, I looked for you, you fucking liars. And we're like, oh,
what the fuck,
shit,
man?
My bad.
I was there. I was ready.
I was ready for your sweet, sweet beard to be rubbed on my face, and you weren't there. But yeah, again, thanks for checking out the Roundtable. Got any comments, suggestions? Let us know. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go to the Facebook page. All those links are below on the Twitch channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then you're already here. So hit subscribe. I mean, you're already here, right? You're here.
Yeah, it's right there. Button's right there, man.
Yeah, figure it out. Figure it out.
You got this. Do it well.
Do it well. Do it well. Figure it out and do it well. And we'll catch you again next week.